I am the immortal Iron Fist.
No, I think that should go this way. I am the immortal Iron Fist.
Such a crybaby. All of the Iron Fist.
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
And we are going to spoiler talk Season 2 of Iron Fist. Super excited to dive into this one. And I know I made jokes about Danny Rand crying, but I think he, to all the writer's credit and everything, he did way better this season. A lot less crying.
A lot less crying from him, but then I felt like Davos kind of... He started acting like, you know, this is my Iron Fist, and I was raised to be it. Well, you failed at it.
Yeah, there was definitely moodiness that never left the actual character, whoever carried the Iron Fist, except for Colleen. She is hardcore. But anyway, yeah.
Colleen can fight. I like that.
So let's talk overall, then we'll dive into some specifics. But, like, looking at Season 2 as a whole, what are your thoughts? Did you like it, hate it? Where are you at with it?
I liked it a lot more than Season 1.
Yep.
Season 1 story was kind of interesting, but it really dragged on.
Mm-hmm.
This one, there was a little bit more action that I liked. But then again, I don't know if I liked it more because Season 1 was bad, and then Jessica Jones and Luke Cage Season 2 were really bad.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I didn't even finish Luke Cage Season 2. So maybe that's why I think it's so good. But the storyline caught me instantly.
Yeah. And I think I agree with you. The storyline for Season 2 caught me instantly. And overall, it's definitely my favorite Iron Fist, and I think I'd put it number 2 next to, like, the Daredevil ones, because the Punisher felt like it should have been so much more of a John Wick revenge type thing, and I felt like it was so slow.
Very
slow. So slow. And then I feel like that's what we suffered from. Like, all these Season 2s were just so long. They were 13 episodes, and they really should have been about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, to me, just dragged on and on and on, and Luke Cage was just so boring. I have details on that. You can check out my spoiler talk review of Season 2 there. And unlike you, I did finish it. Iron Fist Season 2 was just so much more energetic. Still long periods of talking that I just was like, okay, you could cut this in half and still develop story.
Yeah.
But the action was so good. I love Kung Fu. I love the action scenes. And I feel like Season 2 of Iron Fist gave that to me in abundance this season. So as far as these MCU Netflix shows, like, Season 2 of Iron Fist is now up there for me because it gave me more of what I wanted. I feel like Season 2 had an overarching theme, and the theme was addiction, recovery, and working on yourself. Yeah. You saw it in Ward, literally with his overcoming his drug addiction and his alcohol addiction, and the fact that, you know, he got his sponsor pregnant, and now she doesn't want anything to do with him, and it's because, you know, she knows she'll have to take care of a baby and him, and she can only do 2 people. So to really be a positive force in that new baby's life, he's got to work on himself. Yeah. You have Danny Rand, who's become addicted to the power of his Iron Fist. And so, you know, when it gets taken from him, the withdrawals and all the stuff that he goes through and having to learn how to find his identity and work on himself outside of that. And then Joy Meacham was pretty preachy in her one scene where she was faking she wants to be on Davos' side. And she goes, well, in order to change the city, you had to first change yourself and work on yourself. And that's what I want to do now. But what's interesting is I feel like every episode played into that theme somehow, like the whole overarching story. Did you see that at all in that?
I saw it 100% in it. Yeah. There was nothing but struggle. Then you have the boys, you know.
The gang.
The little gang. I already forgot their names. They're not the Tigers. They're the...
I just remember BB.
BB is the only one I remember, too. And then the leader was Rhino. When they first introduced him as Rhino, I was like, hold up, like Rhino, like from Spider-Man? Or, you know.
Well, they finished that really quick when he had his throat slit. It's like, nope, never mind. He's not going to grow up and be a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not even strong enough.
No, he is not.
No. But, so, I caught the same thing, though. Like, there was a lot of addiction, a lot of recovery, you know. And I thought that was great because something like power.
Yeah.
You know, the Iron Fist had power, you know. He was the immortal Iron Fist, and then he got addicted to that, you know?
Yeah.
Where some got addicted to drugs. Joy's just corrupted, you know? She just...
Yeah, well, she was addicted to, like...
She's very scarred, I guess.
Her vengeance? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Most of it was she was damaged by other people's addictions. And so, you know, she's just trying to, you know, seek out her vengeance. And then you have Davos, who is in the same boat as Danny Rand, but he's just not handling it I mean, Danny Rand, I think, is handling it way better, but Davos is just consumed with the idea of getting the Iron Fist, believing wholeheartedly it's his whole thing. And what's interesting is his mother. Like, the flashback to his mother and how his mother came in, and the comfort she gave him was this: you failed, and I have to bear that shame for the rest of my life. I tried to raise a champion, but instead, I got a failure. And so...
That's cold.
It's amazing how that emotional abuse formed that in him to go out and, really be this horrendously evil bad guy. He had a horrible idea of what it meant to be a hero, horrible idea of what it meant to be an Iron Fist, all because of that,
And, I don't know, like, Davos, I get it, like, you were raised to be a champion, whatever, but your mom scars you by telling you you're disappointed, so what are you going to do? You want to seek mama's approval. So you're going to go out there even though you don't earn the Iron Fist, you just steal it. Not the same thing, but I think that's why him and Joy got along so well.
Yeah.
They both can relate. They know what it's like to be hurt in a way like nobody else, to feel betrayed,
Yep.
That the Iron Fist was supposed to be his, and then this kid shows up.
Yeah.
And then earns it from him. She knows what it's like to sit behind the shadow of her brother and her dad's still being alive, and they're hiding this from her, and then they find out that he's alive, and she knows what it's like to be lied to and betrayed, and she has trust issues as well. So it makes sense that they found each other, but it's like, oh boy, of all people you're going to find.
Yep. And it's exactly why neither Davos or her could have any healthy relationships outside of that. Again, another kind of meta point where Ward was talking to his sponsor who we knocked up, and she's like, the reason you can't have a single good relationship is because you haven't gone back to the one that's damaged you the most, which is your sister, and you can't work past that, so you'll never be able to have a healthy relationship. So it was interesting how everything this season, it was tied to a theme, and I liked that because I felt like I didn't like Jessica Jones season 2, and I didn't like Luke Cage season 2, but this tying it to kind of a theme and a message, I feel like gave this season more of a punch. You get it? You get it? Iron Fist, a punch. I'm terrible.
There was a great punch to the movie, like the show.
It feels like a movie because we binge it, but
yeah. But I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I did too, and I liked that it was 3 episodes shorter. Instead of 13, it was 10. So the story was more condensed and sort of drug out.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was still a little drug out, but like it wasn't as drug out as the other shows had been. And so that was really cool.
That was really cool. Then I like that Misty Knight shows up.
Yes.
So they're bringing her in. And
at first I was irritated she was in it, but I grew to like her more and more. I think I was irritated at first because Luke Cage season 2 really didn't speak to me at all, but like her character is awesome. So it was awesome to see Misty Knight show up in this and be such like a good friend to Colleen and helping her through that and all that. So all that was awesome.
Good counselor when BB died,
Yeah.
She knows what it's like, and
it
was great. No, I really enjoyed her her little sub character in there, whatever you call that. I liked her role in the show. I did too. Like at first when she showed up too, I was like, oh boy. I thought she was gonna it was gonna be a kind of a plot twist type of thing, and but no, she helped out, she supported, and she did a great job on that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, my favorite scenes were some of the things that she had to say, comforting, and then her stepping in, in a little superhero role, starting to fight.
Yes.
She's not a great fighter, but I mean she should be because she has police training.
Yeah. And now she's got this arm, which now we know is just going to be even better since she destroyed this one. Yeah. So, it's going to get better. So
all she's got to do is just hit up the dudes from Hydra, and they'll give her a Winter Soldier on.
I would hope by this point, Hydra is gone. But speaking of MCU connections, Mary.
Sokovia.
Oh my gosh. While it was interesting, all these multiple personalities in her and all that stuff, what I continued to find more and more interesting was the flashbacks to Sokovia. And I'm trying to figure out all this time, and either it was unclear to me or somehow I totally missed it. What was she there during Ultron? Was she being experimented on by the doctor who experimented on the twins?
That's what I was wondering too. If she was one of was she when they found her, did they capture her? Did they do anything? I wasn't sure, but she was definitely a better fighter than she led on to be.
Yes.
Just for military training. Not saying military training has bad training, because they don't. They have amazing training.
Yeah.
But she put on a Black Widow type training, something that an elite of the elite. And there were so many questions I had about Sokovia with her.
And I hope we get into a season 3 where we dive into that more, or when we get into Daredevil season 3, I hope we bring her back in and get more into that, because that was like the most fascinating thing about her story. I mean, it was really interesting that you have this really timid Mary, then you have this other personality, Walker, who is that hardcore Black Widow-ish fighter, but then the mysterious third personality, and I don't know too much about the Marvel Comics. I looked up a few things, Bloody Mary and things like that, but I just don't know too much about it. But really interesting that there's a third personality that must be more violent than the other two, and that none of them are aware of. So that's kind of interesting.
I wonder if she had gamma radiation. I don't know. Just saying, I don't know. I know nothing about her character, so don't, nerds out there, don't kill me on this one. I don't know everything about the Marvel Universe. Just know some.
What did you think of Danny Rand wanting to not take back the Iron Fist after it was stolen from him? What did you think about that?
When he said that, I was actually shocked.
I thought it was mature of him compared to past seasons, so I thought, okay, as character development, that's cool, but I was angry because it's like, no!
You earned that right.
Yes, it's yours!
But what I did like is, like how you said, it was the mature decision, but, you know, when something becomes like a drug...
Yeah, you gotta step back.
And he saw what it's doing to him, and he's like, well, someone has to hold it, you know, and why not Colleen, who seems to be the perfect person for it, you know, she's pure, she's nice, she seems to be level-headed, you know, that she doesn't lean too far this way, that way, she seems to have her stuff centered very well. So I can see why he would want her, but I was really shocked that he was going to give that up.
Yeah.
Because Colleen can't fight as good as him.
Right.
Even though, like, she's training him when he loses the fist and all that.
Yeah.
Because he already proved, you know, that he was a better fighter in season 1 than her.
Yeah.
When he came over there and challenged
He was trained
her.
by Kung Lung. He better be a better fighter than her. Yeah. You know, here's what kind of drove me nuts. It's probably because I hate relationship soap opera drama. I hate it.
That's why I don't watch anything on
I cannot comprehend why her training him had to equal the end of their relationship. They were a fantastic team.
Yeah.
And I get that in the story, what they were trying to say, you know, now she can't separate herself. She's stepping into a different role, and that impacts. I mean, I get it. Whatever. Yeah. To me, it just felt like a soap opera thing. And it's like, why? Don't do that. Who cares? Yeah. Why does it have to be either or? I don't understand that.
I didn't like this, that he left either and went on this quest. Because then what does he do? He gets the power of Iron Fist again.
Yes.
And I have questions about how he got that.
And now it's not just in one fist, it's in two fists. And it wasn't just in his fist, it traveled through the guns that he was holding into the bullets. On the one hand, that was awesome. I was very happy when they skip months later and he has it back. It's like, oh, thank you, Lord. Because at the very least, I know when we get into season 3 or the next Defenders, whatever's next, he will be the immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. And I'm just curious as to what did he do to get that.
That's what I'm wondering, because he went on that mission. They said they found a coffin with a previous Iron Fist?
Yeah, like they did with the other guy and did the whole thing. So it's like, but how do you do this ceremony when you don't have another Iron Fist to, you know, bleed and get the chi out?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a lot of questions to it, but his fist glows differently.
Yeah, and both of his fists.
Yeah.
So it's
and
different
I'm cool
now.
with both the fists.
Me too.
Because I'd rather have both of my fists, because then if you have only one, and you know, you're like, my left hand hit you, did nothing, but my right hand hurt you. But
your head's gone.
Yeah. And what are you going to do when you fight someone who's a lot stronger?
Exactly.
Someone who has like Luke Cage strength.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, so now you have two hands and you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Do you think it's cool that Colleen has the white power in her hand now and it traveled up her sword? Like, do you think that's awesome?
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Season 1, they talked about there's so much to it that he doesn't know. Like, so I guess maybe energy transfer was one of it, and why he was able to transfer in the gun, why she's able to transfer it into a weapon, you know.
Yeah. So who knows? Like, those are things I'm looking forward to seeing. So it did a good job laying out stuff I'm looking forward to seeing. And I thought Ward was cool this season.
Yes, Ward was a lot better, and I liked that he was trying to redeem, you know, his relationship with his sister. Yep. He knew he did wrong, but he was also trying to protect her. And, I mean, it wasn't like Dad was really back. He was a little bit of a psychopath, and every time he came back, it was worse.
Yeah. So Ward was kind of interesting, and I like that Ward, in the end, went with Danny, you know, to Asia through those travels and stuff like that. So we got that months later, and we get to see them, like, being a really good team. So I'm like, okay, that's awesome. So I was kind of happy to see stuff like that.
I did like that he did that, and then, like, he's like, you know, they're talking to the guy, trying to negotiate with him, and he's like, I thought you said you had this. Well, I thought I did, or whatever, and he's like, you can handle it from here. It's like,
that was pretty awesome.
That was pretty funny. Like, I like that they're bonding as brothers, you know?
Yep. No, I like that a lot, too.
Yeah, but I love it.
A+ through F-. What would you give season 2 of Iron Fist?
Give it a B.
I think that's a good grade.
I really liked it. It was better than average.
Yeah.
Talked too much still, but not as much. So
yeah.
But it left on a good note. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch it again. Yeah, I give it a solid B.
I actually think I'm going to give it a B. The more I think about it, I think a B is it, because you're right, it is totally above average.
Yeah.
It is, of these season 2s that have come out, it is like the better one. And yeah, no, and it's made me more excited for the next one. I do wish it was maybe 1 or 2 episodes shorter. Like, I think 8 or 9 is the magic number, because then you eliminate filler episodes and you have to be more precise with the story. Yeah. So I give them credit where it's due. They cut out 3 episodes and it was 10 instead of 13. I kind of just wish, let's bring it down to 8 or 9 and let's really like tell a worthwhile story in this. But otherwise, yeah, I love the action, the kung fu, and it was really good.
Yeah, the fighting scenes were great.
I loved it.
Yeah, they were really great. The way they interacted, the way everything fought, like it was choreographed, like it was perfect. I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
A lot of good action.
So A+ through F-, which I don't know if there is an F-. An F is just an F. But what did you think? What grade would you give Iron Fist Season 2? Let us both know in the comments. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit the bell by the button so the next time the Cholo Nerd joins me for a Marvel review or any movie review, you'll be notified when that drops. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.